Welcome to Keeping It Realty.
Welcome back to Keeping It Realty. I'm your host, Martha Smith.
And I'm your co-host, Natalia Pierantoni.
And today we have a very special guest from GTE Financial Credit Union. Please help us welcome the mortgage loan executive, Nancy Booi.
Thank you,
Welcome to the show.
for having me here in your podcast. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you so much, Nancy, because let me just get into how I met you. A couple weeks ago, I was invited to GTE Financial's event where they talked about down payment assistance and just different programs that they have available. And it was so much information that was useful to me and what I do. And then I meet Nancy, and she's bilingual, and she has such a good, personality. She's bubbly, she's smiley, and I asked her if she would be on the podcast, and she said she would, and she's going to give us all the details, guys. So I'm super excited about this episode.
Yes. So Nancy, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I'm a mortgage loan executive for GTE Financial. Mm-hmm. I'm the bilingual.
Oh, I love that.
Executive.
That's super important because, most of our clients are bilingual. And we love when a loan officer speaks their language and can literally go through steps and steps for our clients.
And of course, I've been in the mortgage industry for 20 plus years. I have done a little bit of pretty much everything, from processing, working on servicing, and of course, helping borrowers purchasing and refinancing their mortgage.
Wow. So what are the benefits of using the credit union?
So benefits of using a credit union, well, first, we are a non-for-profit, mm-hmm. which means that this is member-owned. And we don't, compared to big banks, we don't have to make profit for shareholders. So
the fees.
The fees go back to the members. And the way we can provide that, it's by having lower rates, lower fees. And I think the benefit also is being a small operation, we have more personalized service to our members.
Okay. I'm going to get right into it. Sure. Does GTE Financial have programs for first-time homebuyers?
We do. We do have first-time homebuyer products. I think one of the things that are very, very difficult nowadays, and you guys must know, is borrowers getting money or saving the money for down payment and the closing cost. A lot of the times that's a big challenge for borrowers. So we do offer some different products that can make the borrower more easier for them to get a home by having down payment assistance, where we can do up to 105% loan to value, mm-hmm. having a second mortgage piggyback with that first, and then we also have 100% financing with MI. They have to come up with their closing costs, but it's better than having to save for both. Those are basically the products that we have for first-time home buyers and helping them with down payment assistance.
Okay, and you mentioned MI for the listeners that don't know.
What is that?
It's mortgage insurance. Okay. So mortgage insurance, is there any programs that don't have the mortgage insurance?
We do have one product, but that's the medical. Okay. The medical professional, when we will be talking about that, okay. It's 100% financing with no mortgage insurance.
Okay.
So mortgage insurance, so for the people who don't know, is when you have less than 20% down on payment, then you have to pay that mortgage insurance.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes. When is a credit union not a good thing for a buyer? Not a good option, let's say.
Well, credit unions are always good, but there are certain situations, I would say specifically self-employed. Okay. Let's say, sometimes self-employed, that they deduct so many, that's why they're self-employed. That's the benefit of being self-employed, is for them to deduct a lot of the write-offs,
right.
Which is okay. But for purchasing a home, and we have to abide by certain guidelines, we may not be able to help them. So maybe that's the moment that they may be able to look for a more specialized lender that can help them rather than the credit union. But other than that, we kind of cover most of our clients.
Okay. And like you mentioned before, you guys offer better interest rates.
We do. We do.
Yeah, it's pretty much known across the board that credit unions have the best interest
They
rates.
do. And lower fees in regarding closing costs. Even origination fees are low.
Yeah.
So Nancy, do you have to be a member to be in the getting a loan, or
You don't.
how would that work? Okay.
So anybody can come and apply, and so you don't have to be a member. You do have to be a member by the time we get closing to the closing table.
Okay.
But it's a very simple. It's with a little $5 we can open the account. We can do that over the phone. We guide the borrower, but we do have to have that membership then established by the end of the process.
Okay. And Nancy, when I went to the event, they talked about grants, and I know that they said that the money runs out and then it comes back. Can you tell us a little bit about what grants are and if you have any available?
So we do have partnership with certain banks that they offer some of those grants. And yes, indeed, they do. It's kind of like a first come, first serve. It's the same as we have the grants that have the county. There's some grants. Grants are grants where you don't have to pay them
The money back.
Or there's some other products or programs where you have to basically be 5 years in that property, and then after 5 years, you don't have to pay it back. I think like Hillsborough County, I think they still have one of those type of products.
So in essence, if I bring a buyer to you, you would check and see if there's any grants available.
Exactly.
And if there are, then you would apply to them and they could use that money for their down payment?
They can use the money for down payment. They can use the money for the closing cost.
Beautiful.
Of course, if there's, let's just say that there's nothing at that moment, then we will look at what other, we have a lot of products that we can see, okay, let's see where we can accommodate this borrower, and depending on different things, income and credit. But yeah, we will look at all the different alternatives.
And also letting the buyer know that in case, that grant doesn't come in,
Yes.
you should save for this much money.
Yes.
For the
I normally
closing
tell the
costs,
borrower,
right?
okay, we are going to approve you with this grant and also to the realtor, so the realtors don't know. So with the condition that this money will be available at time of that you already found the property. So at time that you have your sales contract. And of course, we hope that
It goes through.
It goes through, and you know what? It maybe make the borrower, get their home. They want to get the ground move a little bit more quicker.
Yeah, because you don't want the money to
run out.
Okay. Now you touched base on this a little bit. This is what I'm super excited about. There's a program that you guys were talking about that is for professionals. And I haven't heard anything like this. It's such a cool program. Can you tell us a little bit about the program you have for professionals?
Yes. That's one of my favorite products. That is a medical professional. And
this includes... not just doctors, nurses. There's a list.
There's a list. But a lot of lenders, they do offer... There's some lenders out there that they do offer the medical loans, where you may do 100% financing, but then those guidelines are a little bit more strict for the doctors, for the vets, for and dentist. But on our case, what I'm very excited is the fact that we can offer this to physical therapists, dental assistants, nurses, which, there's no products for them, and we can do up to $750,000, 100% financing, and no mortgage insurance. And the rates are phenomenal.
No mortgage insurance, no down payment. It's huge. This is huge.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. If you have one of these jobs of a professional working in the medical field, this is amazing.
And you can get 3% seller concession.
Yeah. And then your realtor can negotiate some concessions and you'd be all set. So, okay, cool. Do you have any other questions for her?
Can you give us any tips for the buyers to apply for a mortgage? Anything that they should be prepared before applying?
I think the first is make a budget of how much you want to spend a month on your mortgage. Because sometimes what they have to be sure of what they want to pay. Because sometimes they see a house that maybe doesn't transpire to the payment that they want to,
So know what you're comfortable paying every month.
And check your credit. That's very important. Credit is scores make you get you a better rate. So try not to buy new big purchases. Do big purchases. If you're going to buy a house, not to do that. Try to get your credit cards at a level where they're not maxed. Try to keep it at 50. 30 is where we wanted them to see, so you can get a better credit score and raise that credit score, but at least at 50% of the credit limit. And of course, save money, because even though you're going to get one of these products where you can do 100% financing, there are so many other expenses that you have to pay. That is regarding your buying your home, the closing.
Right, you have your taxes, insurance, and all.
That, but also you have home inspections that earnest money,
appraisals.
Yep. So those things. And I tell my borrowers, look, home inspection is very important. Mm-hmm. And I've seen where you spend, $700 or whatever the amount is on this property, and then this property doesn't work. That money is gone.
Yep.
And now you go for the next one. So you have to keep that in mind. So always save, and there's nothing wrong with it. When you buy a new home, you're going to buy furniture, you're going to get, so.
Yeah, there's always a little something you want to change.
Exactly.
So it's good. It's a good advice to save some money. Okay, I don't think I have any other questions for her. Thank you so much for answering all her questions.
Yes. Thank you.
I like to finish off with a little rapid fire question, Near. So we'll ask you a question, and then you say...
It's fun.
It's fun.
Okay, let's do
this. Are you ready,
this.
Nancy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so coffee or cafecito?
Cafecito.
I love it.
Dancing versus karaoke.
Dancing. I'm a bad singer.
All right. Okay. Salsa or guacamole? Guac. Oh, me too.
Bad Bunny or Bruno Mars?
Oh, wow.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It is. I would say both, but just because
because you're Puerto Rican, you can say
Bad Bunny, baby.
I would say Bad Bunny.
Grants or DPA, down payment assistance?
If the money's available, grants all day long.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite podcast?
Of you guys, of course. This is the best.
It was a trick question, guys.
It was a trick question. You passed.
You passed the test.
All right, Nancy. Well, it was so much fun to have you here. Thank you so much for all the information. We really appreciate you. We hope to bring you back again and talk about, more in detail about some other programs you guys have.
Thank you very, very much for having me here also. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's always a fun time here, right?
Yes.
Well, I hope you guys found this episode useful.
Reach out to us with any questions, our social or email at keepingitrealty@gmail.com.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.
Thank you all for tuning into our podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at keepingitreal_T and share this episode with all your friends.
If you guys have any questions and topics that you guys would like for us for future episodes, let us know. Shoot us a message. We would love to hear from you guys.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.